the Key West wasn't on the top of my list, but I was like, okay, whatever. We go when we go, if we still together. So we actually went. We actually went a couple of years ago, and we took like this bus trip because we flew into Miami with Tanisha and her husband. That was an interesting trip.
It was very interesting.
And I'm going to talk about you talking to the GPS.
That heifer
and
was
this is a side note.
That heifer was getting on my nerves.
No.
I didn't like the way she was talking to my husband.
Yes.
I didn't like her
from
tone.
That, Tanisha was like, turn that bitch off. Why she talking to you like that?
She was talking to him real sexy and slow, and I was just like, who is this bitch?
Turn that bitch off.
She would be like, turn left. And I'm thinking, I don't got that voice on my phone. Like, that ain't a part of Android. Like, where'd that come from? She had some extra sexiness going on.
I guess.
I felt threatened by the artificial intelligence.
Okay, Tanisha. I just know me and my husband was in the back seat looking at each other.
I was having a moment.
What the hell is wrong with her?
I was having a moment.
You were having a moment.
Me and that lady, we do not get along. But she don't be talking like that. It was weird. She just started talking like that out of the blue.
Okay, Tanisha. Turn that bitch off. Why she talking to you like that? I was like, is she for real, Dion?
I was being a little dramatic in addition to being in my feelings. But I was just trying to entertain. Like, we were in the car. So why not be entertaining?
We were entertained.
Right. Just like me rapping the songs and you have that recorded as blackmail like everything else.
I might play that at the end of the podcast.
Please don't do that to me.
Come on, Trap Queen.
No.
Okay.
That's my other lifestyle.
Okay.
People don't need to know about that.
Well, anyway, so we took a bus trip down to Key West, and the water was so pretty when we were crossing over all the bridges. And we actually were in Key West during Fantasy Fest. And let me tell you, it was a bunch of old lady titties everywhere.
Ooh.
Yes. And my husband was like, okay, I'm ready to go now. I've seen enough.
You be like, keep looking, because that's what mine going to look like later.
Not if I get them fixed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's my plan one day.
They'll never go down. You're going to be the 99 years old. They still going to be
looking like rocks.
Right.
Okay. So, take the next one.
Yep. Let me flip my phone around so I can go with that one. So, then number 2 is check whether the destination offers everything the both of you want, especially if you choose like a big, large, grand trip.
Yes.
You don't want the other person to be acting salty because they didn't get their way in the trip and they have no interest of being there.
Yes.
So just be sure that when you choose a destination, that it's something that you all equally both want to do, or the other person just doesn't care. So that's very important when you're taking a trip.
Exactly. And number 3, plan thoroughly to avoid misunderstanding. So you want to plan the budget.
Yes, that's important.
Number 1, the activities, and whether or not you want to do a city trip or a nature trip.
Mm-hmm.
So with the budget, you want to agree on how much you both want to equally spend on the trip, how much you want to spend on the activities that you choose, who is going to be the money holder. This is for the marrieds. And also, are you going to, budget-wise, like, are you going to do a hotel? You're going to do an Airbnb? If you do an Airbnb, is there going to be, like, a certain night where you may want to cook something versus going out that night? Do you want to be local with the locals, or do you want to stay in a more touristy area? So it's a lot of things to discuss when planning a trip. And those are the top 3.
Another thing with the budget, like sometimes when you're early in a relationship and one of you all may not have money like that, so you may have to fork out more money just to make your own dreams come true. And don't be bitter about it. Just know that you're going to have a good time. And if you have to spend a little bit more money to have a good time the way you want it done, then go for it. And don't bitch about it. Just roll with it.
Yes, because it's all about the experiences that you're going to share together. All right. Now, number 4 is be guided by the budget of the lower income partner, which is what Tanisha just touched on.
But you got to put a little touch to that, though.
Okay.
But even if your partner has a lower income and you got more than enough money, chip in and make that happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you said, it's about the experience. So don't be like, oh, well, we can't do such and such because he or she can only afford to eat at McDonald's the whole time. No, I'm going to eat it somewhere nice, and I got you, boo. Period.
Or even if it's not necessarily somewhere nice, you can be like, we gonna hit up this street food.
Right.
And that's where you get all the local flavor.
Mm-hmm. I know y'all hit up some street food in Thailand that I was
Man,
scared
them
of.
chicken wings was good.
That looks
chicken
scary.
wings was good.
They probably were. They were like real organic chickens walking around.
They were. They was probably the most healthiest chicken I've ever had.
Probably so.
Yeah.
How did you feel after you ate it?
I was fine.
I bet.
My stomach didn't start hurting until we went to that Americanized mall.
Yeah, that was true.
But, my stomach was good with the street food. Okay. So you want to, number 5 is set a daily budget or one for the entire journey to avoid the topic of money.
Right.
So this might be a time when you want to pull out an envelope system or
exactly
something
what I
like
was gonna
that.
say.
Just to keep you guys on track for your daily spending.
Mm-hmm. And then do the envelope system per day.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever money you have left at the end of the day. And when we say envelope system, let's scale it back. So Dave Ramsey has an envelope system when you budget. So for every day, let's just say your daily budget's $500, which is really a lot of money.
Oh, yes.
So, but let's say at the end of the day, if you don't spend the $500, you got $250 left. You put that $250, or you can spread it out for the rest of the days, however you want to do it. But you just kind of keep going in the envelope system. It works, and then that way you'll know whether or not you have enough money to do what you want to do and plan it out, so no one feels like, hey, we're running out of money and now we gotta go into our credit cards for this trip.
And they also noted that there's a useful app called Trail Wallet, so I'm quite sure it might envelope system your money for you, or you say, okay, this is how much I want to spend every day on my trip, and then you probably just input what you're doing, so it'll keep you abreast of what your spending is.
Mm-hmm. And the next point was to compromise.
Mm-hmm.
A relationship does not work without compromising, and you will not only recognize this when you're planning your first trip, but much earlier in your relationship. So compromise a little bit. It doesn't always have to be your way or no way. Just go with the flow sometimes. You might learn something new. I know I did when I started traveling with my husband. He doesn't use maps. He's never used maps. Like when we first started dating, you would have to map quest the location.
Oh my gosh.
You remember those days? Don't act like that.
I remember.
So it was no GPS on a cell phone because we had flip phones. So he wouldn't have a map. He would look at a map one time before we left the house and be like, I got this. We cool. And I'd be like, oh no, I'm so nervous. And I would print out the directions and always have them just in case we got lost. But either I'm so naive that I didn't realize we were lost, or he has a wonderful sense of direction because he doesn't use maps ever.
I remember printing out MapQuest to get to your wedding.
Really? No way.
And that wasn't that long ago.
Why?
Why what?
You had a smartphone.
I don't think I had a smartphone then.
You had a flip phone?
I didn't have a flip
Ooh,
phone, but
I remember what
it
phone
wasn't
you
a
had.
smartphone. It was like that little
iPhone
the square
thing.
one. No, I got rid of that one. This was after that.
That was-
phone after that.
That was, I don't remember, but man, that's bad. That's 2010.
I know.
But you didn't have a PDF? Not PDF,
No.
PDA?
No.
Ooh.
No. Ooh, a PDA.
Right, no BlackBerry. Like you were
No.
supposed to have a BlackBerry back then.
No, I didn't have I couldn't
a
afford a
Palm?
BlackBerry.
What are they called?
I think my husband had a Palm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it had the little stylus. I used to think I was super cool.
I know.
Yeah, you was real old school.
I know. That's okay.
You would have
We've
never
come a long way.
We've came a long way. Because you working with the iPhone now, you're like in 21st century.
I know.
So you're doing good.
Yeah. So also you want to try something new. Don't say no to everything just because it sounds stupid at first or feels somehow odd. It's important to compromise and to be open for anything new. And that is the purpose of traveling, is to try and to experience new things, new people, new food, new activities. So just be open within safety
Precautions,
reason.
right.
Yeah, but be open to just doing new things. That way you can say, man, I had so much fun on this trip and I never thought I would have done this, but I did it.
Yeah, and I'm going to take the next one, Miss Doria, so we can talk about this. The first trip should not be a camping trip.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
we've been beyond the camping trips at this point, Doria. So when are we going to take this camping trip?
Never.
You have to compromise and go camping with your husband, or glamping as you call it.
I'll go glamping.
It's not
Like, it got to be extremely nice. I'll go camping on a beach.
That might be cool.
That would be cool.
Would you do it in an RV?
If it was really nice.
Like a nice RV. Like they're really nice.
Yeah.
I want to go. You know, I've been wanting to drive an RV. Remember we were supposed to drive across the United States?
In a Sprinter.
Right. We could do that. We could so do that camping.
I don't know about that.
Well, when I was out in California, when we drove down the Pacific Coast Highway, I really wanted to get one of those juicy vans.
I am interested in taking a trip down the Pacific Coast Highway.
Oh my God.
That I am interested in. I could do that. That's a good road trip that I would be like, oh, I could do this. But like driving like across the states, probably not.
You know, that was the best trip that I think my husband and I have ever taken. Yeah. Like it was up there with Hawaii for me. Mm-hmm. So it was just beautiful, even though it was petrified at nighttime because you were like, oh, it's cliffs on the other side. Mm-hmm. We're going to run off the road. You know, your anxiety just takes the best of you at that point because you just don't know where you're going. Mm-hmm. You don't have a cell phone signal most of the time. Mm-hmm. We didn't have a hotel room scheduled because you never know where you're going to end up at. It was just a lot of things for a person that has like anxiety about and wanting to make sure everything's safe and we're fine. Mm-hmm. So, but I didn't die. We had a great time and it was beautiful. And I would do it all over again. Okay. But with a juicy van. Okay. Have you heard of those?
What is a juicy van?
A juicy van, it's like a company out of San Francisco, I think. It's San Francisco, LA, and some other cities. Basically, they have these little camping vans that it has like a little sink and it pulls out to like a full-size bed. Okay. And it sleeps so many people, which I thought it's like a Dodge Caravan but hooked up where you can like live in it. Oh, okay. So I was like, this is super cute.
That would be right
I
up
thought
my husband's alley.
We could live in that. And my husband's like, no, you're not going to do that. But maybe at night I'm gonna get a little scared, but I feel like if we put up some curtains it might be cool because I just don't want some random person staring at me while I'm asleep and I wake up. Yeah. So that'll be the next time and I'll let you know how that goes.
Okay. And I think, was it last weekend when I was at my husband's cousin's vow renewal? Was that last week? Or was that week before?
It was the week before last.
Okay. We met one of my husband's cousins who does bus tours in Napa Valley. And I was like, shoot, the next time I go out to see my sister, we are doing your tour.
Right.
Yes. And he was like, yeah, and I got it good with some of the other wineries that are private, and I'm going to send y'all some wine, and when y'all come out, I'm going to take y'all. I was like, oh,
that's cool.
I'm calling you.
Yeah, that's super cool. So take that trip. Just don't let the camping trip be the first trip. I don't know why that's a bad thing because there's some couples that can go camping and may really love it. But I can see that
both
going
like nature-y people. But if it's like somebody like me,
a girly girl,
I would be like, where am I gonna go to the bathroom?
I know.
This is too many bugs out here. Like I would complain the whole time, and that does not make for a fun trip. So for those who are listening, no camping on the first.
I can't say that I'll be 100% happy. Because I know in my mind will tell me, oh, girl, you can do this. You'll be fine. Like, live on the wild side. And then I get out there and I freak out because it's so different for me that I'm just not happy because I'm like, I thought it was going to be totally different. So, because I think that I'm not going to get bit by the bugs and the spider's not going to crawl on me in the middle of the night. So, who knows? But I might try it one night.
Okay. Have fun.
Yeah. I'll send you a text message and let you know how it goes.
Okay. All right. So try it first. Try a weekend. If you mostly see each other after work and stay for the night either at his or her place and want to be sure that everything fits, we recommend a trial weekend. And that could be like just getting a hotel locally. And like being a tourist in your own city for the weekend.
Yeah, you could do that. That's for sure. And number 10 is one of my favorites, is packing, set boundaries. If you read Off the Path, strongly estimate that you do not use suitcases anymore, but go for flexibility of a good backpack. No.
Okay.
No. If you have been listening to this podcast, I have issues with men who pack their clothes in Kroger bags, trash bags, or any type of shopping bags, because I'm going to need you to have some luggage. And I don't want you rolling with me with a backpack. I guess it's fine if we're going along like a camping trip or something. I guess that's cool, but no, I need you to have some luggage. Don't be rolling with me. We get on a plane, you got a backpack. Unless it's like a Frontier flight or a Spirit flight. And that's what you need to pack your stuff in because that's a personal bag.
Well, I think that's kind of what they're getting at because now we're like in the age with the millennials and they backpack. So, and I will say, when I went to Paris with my sister and her friend, her